In this video, all we're going to be doing are the interior walls of the house. So keeping with this same example, we're just going to be putting in all of these partitions. Like this is a master bathroom. All of these partitions, um, all the partitions that separate the dining from the kitchen, or the kitchen and dining from the laundry, mudroom, and pantry, etc. So with the interior walls, they're only going to be 2x4 or 2x6. Those are the only two wall styles you're going to use for an interior wall. The only class that you're going to use is interior wall class. So that makes it simple. Most of the walls are going to be 2x4. There will sometimes be a 2x6 wall. In this particular example, none of the interior walls are 2x6. So again, I'm going to double click on working one just to make sure that I'm on the correct active layer. I'm going to choose the class, which is wall interior, and then I'm going to grab my wall tool. It's going to be interior 2x4, and I'm ready to draw. So with the interior walls, same thing as before. You want to kind of think in, geometrically speaking, you want to think in drawing these walls in a clockwise fashion. So I would start down here. I'd probably do this separator wall first. See, instead of drawing like from here up to here and across and down, that's drawing in a clockwise fashion, then that would be correct. But you're kind of just splitting up the room into partitions from biggest to smallest first. So you could actually start here, and now you've partitioned off that entire master bedroom from the master bathroom, and then you could partition off these closets from the rest of the master bathroom, and then you could partition off this hall by partitioning off the hall from the first master walk-in closet, and then the same with this one here. Okay, so then this little commode room, I would do this, I would start up rather than start down here. One way to know if you're drawing in a clockwise fashion is if you're in this left control line mode. If it's on the outside or on the left side of the wall, you know that you're drawing in a right-handed in a right rotation mode. So this is the way I would do it, from up there to the corner and down. I'll just click on the selection tool. So you can see that these two walls, based on the arrows, they're in a clockwise direction. If I would have drawn them the opposite way, you can see that still looks correct, but when you click on them, they're drawn in a counterclockwise direction. So that's just one thing to keep in mind. That's one way to think of it. So I'm going to undo those and redo them. Okay. Same thing here. You basically have three big boxes, or three boxes. You have the shower as the biggest box, and then you have this one connected to it, and you have this little one. So these are both linen closets. So I would draw the big one first, and then I'd connect this small linen to that, and then I'd connect this one to that. Again, I'm going to turn off the guides so you can see this is drawn in a clockwise fashion. If you were to continue that, that would be a clockwise fashion. That's a clockwise fashion, and so is that. So next I mean, if you started over on this side of the house, it wouldn't be wrong. I'm just starting left to right, or right to left rather. It doesn't matter where you start. You could start, I could have started with this main wall down the center, or I could have started, you know, with one of these walls over here. So since I started over at this end, I'm going to continue with that. And I'm just going to separate the whole master bedroom suite from the rest of the house. This is a little unclear as to what's going on here. So if you did this, that would be correct. All right, so that's that entire end of the house. Next, I would draw, what do I draw next? Probably draw this part next. So you could either, let's see here. Well, I'm trying to figure out which, I know how I would do it, but I'm trying to figure out the best way to show you so that it's it makes the most sense. So let's say we're just going to partition off this dining room wall. You could start down here and just draw around the dining room. Because that's keeping with the clockwise rotation. And then let's say you were going to do this laundry room next. Instead of drawing over to here and then down and whoops. Instead of drawing over to here and then down, that's connected correctly. But now you've got this wall going north, it's going this way, and this wall comes to meet it going south. And then what are you going to do with this wall? You're going to draw this north like that. Again, it connects correctly. It all looks right, but that doesn't make any sense having three wall segments, one going up, one going down, and one going up. So instead of doing that, I would just take this wall and continue it all the way up to here, up to this kitchen wall where it dead ends. All right. So then I would partition off the entire kitchen. So this is the kitchen right here. So start up here. So now that's all partitioned off. And then this is for the basement steps right here. Partition that off. This is the end of the kitchen cabinets. Partition that off. The closet over here in the mudroom. Partition that off. And then the mudroom from the pantry. Partition that off. And then you got these two little wing walls here that are just the end of the cabinets. I'm double clicking to end the wall, by the way. Alright, so I think that's basically all of the partitions. Let me just turn off the guides. Alright, so two things that I would do at this point. I would put an end cap on these 3 walls here. So just click on the wall, and down here there's caps. You can do it at the start, at the end, or at both. So this would be at the end because the beginning is where the arrow starts, the end of the wall is the other end. And the same with these 2 walls, those both are end caps. And then I would just heal this intersection here. So this is one wall that's dead ending into a wall, and then has 2 walls dead ending into it. So these are all T-joins. So I would just get the wall join tool, the T-join selection mode, and then you drag from the wall you're joining to the one you're joining. And that heals all of those. So at this point, this would pretty much be done as far as the interior walls goes. Now it doesn't look, once you put doors, like to get from the dining room, which is this space, to the kitchen, obviously there's no doorways there. You just got a dead end here, but we'll be putting in doors at a later time. So there's an opening right here, and there's an opening right here. So you'd be walking through the through this little opening area into the kitchen. So all the rooms are completely partitioned off with no doors in them, but that would be the next step.